Okay, so wait, are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Good. I need to tell you something that's going to ruin your week. I'm in traffic yesterday, 4:05, and I see this tweet. Medieval peasants worked 150 days a year. You work 260. Congrats on progress.
That can't be right.
It is. I spent my entire night researching, and some dude in 1347 named Aethelric the turnip farmer, who couldn't read, who wiped his ass with leaves, had more vacation days than anyone at Netflix.
How much have you slept?
3 hours. The point is, we've been scammed. Medieval peasants had better work-life balance than we do.
You're having a breakdown.
I'm having an awakening. Oh, and I brought Takis.
You brought my snacks?
Monica threw out your stash. I rescued one bag. You can have them back if you admit medieval peasants had better work-life balance.
That's extortion.
That's capitalism, baby.
Fine. Medieval peasants possibly, arguably, had more guaranteed time off.
Victory. And I'm Mark. And we're eating Takis I stole from Mike's apartment.
You rescued them.
From your girlfriend. Who's right, by the way?
The Corvette is a sound. That's all.
You call it the Red Menace, dude. Monica told me.
Monica needs to stop talking to you.
We have dinner once a month. She tells me everything. Can we do the episode?
Fine. Today we're talking about something that's going to make you furious at your job. Medieval peasants, actual dirt farming, no plumbing peasants worked fewer days per year than you do.
Like, significantly fewer, 150 to 180 days per year.
Versus modern workers at 250 to 260 days.
And today we're going to prove it, explain what their lives were actually like, and by the end you're going to be texting your boss like, Aethelric the peasant had more PTO than me. Explain yourself.
Please don't actually do that.
Do it, but I'm eating all the Takis. So walk me through this. I want the methodology, because I know you'll pick it apart.
Oh, you want the methodology?
I want to know if this stat is solid, or if I'm building my rage on shaky ground.
Okay, so wait, are you eating the Takis while I explain this?
I'm a multitasker.
You're getting red dust everywhere?
The methodology, Mike.
Fine. Juliet Shaw, economist at Boston College, published The Overworked American in 1991. She basically went full detective on medieval records, manorial documents, church calendars, tax rolls, and these things called custumals.
What's a custumal?
Think of it like a medieval employment contract, except you can't quit. It recorded what each peasant owed the lord. John the Smith, 3 days' labour during harvest, must bring own hammer, gets ale but not the good ale.
They specified the ale quality?
Oh yeah, lords were cheap. There's a complaint from 1315 where peasants were like, the ale you're giving us is basically water with barley floating in it. This is bullshit.
Medieval one-star Yelp reviews.
Essentially. And from these records, these complaints, these contracts, these tax documents where people try to weasel out of payments, Shaw pieced together how many days people actually worked. About 1,440 to 1,620 hours per year.
Versus
Americans today. 1,811 hours, according to OECD data. But here's where it gets. While Germans work 1,349 hours, Germans are working less than medieval peasants.
I'm sorry, what?
Germans work less than medieval peasants who had no electricity.
How is that possible?
6 weeks, mandatory vacation, strong labour protections, works councils where workers have actual say in company decisions.
So Germany just solved it? They just did the thing?
They did the thing.
And we're over here like, what if we worked more and also made healthcare conditional on employment?
When you put it that way...
I can't put it any other way. There is no other way to put it.
Okay, and here's where the stat gets complicated. Some historians argue Shaw's being too generous, that she's not counting informal labour.
Like what?
Hauling water, chopping firewood, fixing your roof, making clothes.
But I do that now. I clean. I do laundry. I grocery shop.
Right. But you have a washing machine. They had a rock and a river.
Okay, so factor that in. Add 10 hours a week.
That brings them to about 1,960 hours per year.
Which is still less than us when you count commutes and answering emails at 11 p.m.
Exactly. Jonathan Gershuni did a whole study on this in the 90 Seconds Economic History Review, and even when he added all the household labour, medieval workers still came out ahead.
So I'm right.
It's not about being...
I'm right, and economists agree with me.
Fine. Yes. Medieval peasants had more leisure time. Happy.
Extremely. You know what? I'm texting Monica right now.
Do not text my girlfriend.
Mike admitted I was right about something. Please confirm this is the first time in recorded history.
I admit you're right all the time.
Name one instance.
I need a minute.
That's what I thought. Okay, continue. What else should I know about these peasants? Okay, I can see you're about to... Well, actually me. Go ahead.
I'm not actually-ing.
You absolutely are.
Fine. Context matters, Mark. Not all peasants had it the same. A free tenant farmer in 14th century England after the Black Death, when labour was scarce, had pretty decent conditions. But a serf in 11th century France, basically property. They couldn't leave their land, couldn't marry without permission, owed labour services. That could be brutal.
How brutal.
There was something called boon work, where peasants owed extra unpaid labour to their lords during busy seasons, sometimes 2 or 3 weeks of extra work at harvest time. And the lord was supposed to provide food during boon work, but there's records of peasants complaining that the lord only gave them bread and weak ale while he ate meat. And good wine...
Wait, so they had to do unpaid overtime and watch their boss eat better food?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's literally my life. That's the company holiday party. The executives get prime rib and we get grocery store sheet cake.
Okay, that's pretty similar actually.
We invented nothing. We've invented nothing new. Capitalism just rebranded feudalism and added quarterly earnings calls.
I mean...
Boon work. Oh my God. You know what we call it now? Being a team player. Stepping up. Going the extra mile.
Okay, that's actually...
It's the same thing, Mike. It's the exact same exploitation. We just use different words. At least the feudal lord was honest about it. At least he didn't gaslight you with, "We're a family here."
Are you okay?
No. I had a realization, and it's terrible.
But here's what I'm trying to say. Women especially got screwed. They were expected to do all the domestic work plus help in the fields during busy seasons, and none of that was counted in the work hours we've been talking about.
Okay, so women got screwed. Shocking. That's been true in every era, including this one.
I'm not defending it. I'm saying your rosy picture of 150 days off ignores that a lot of people had way less leisure than you're suggesting.
That's actually fair. The 150 days stat is probably biased toward male-free peasants in good conditions.
Thank you. Finally, some nuance.
But even accounting for that, even if some peasants work more, the overall system still built in more rest than we have now. And that's my point.
But you're implying the feudal system was better when it was based on oppression.
And ours isn't?
That's not the same thing.
Isn't it? I can't quit my job without losing healthcare for my daughter. How is that meaningfully different from being tied to a lord's land?
Okay, that's actually a fair comparison. The healthcare job connection in America is genuinely a form of bondage. You're tied to your employer for survival.
Thank you.
But peasants also had no political rights whatsoever, died at 35, lost half their children to disease before age 5.
And we have what? Political rights that are meaningless because money controls policy, healthcare that bankrupts us, a planet that's literally dying. At least peasants knew who their oppressors were. At least the lord looked like a lord. We're being oppressed by algorithms and shareholder value and market forces.
The point is that progress should mean less work, not more.
We didn't choose anything. Capital chose for us.
Okay, you're right. Workers didn't decide to take productivity gains as consumption instead of leisure. That was decided by owners and policymakers. The economist Benjamin Hunnicutt wrote a whole book about this, Work Without End, 1988, about how in the 1920 seconds and 30 seconds, there was a real push for shorter work weeks, and it was deliberately killed by business interests.
So you agree with me?
I agree with that specific point. I still think you're romanticizing medieval life.
I'm not romanticizing it. I'm using it as a mirror to show how screwed up our system is.
Which is fair, but you keep implying they had it better when what you mean is one specific aspect of their existence had a thing we lack.
Fine. They didn't have it better overall. Happy?
Happier.
But they DID have more time off and we should be furious about that.
Yes, we should.
All right, let's reset. I need actual details now. Paint me a picture. What did 150 days off actually look like in practice?
Okay, so first we're talking about Western Europe, mainly England and France, roughly 1000 to 1500 CE, the High Middle Ages into the Late Middle Ages, and the work calendar was completely dictated by two things, agriculture and the church.
Two things that don't exist anymore.
Agriculture exists. We just...
as the organising principle of society. Like, nobody in LA is planning their year around harvest season unless they're a farmer's market influencer.
Fair. So medieval agriculture was seasonal. You have intense periods, ploughing in spring, harvesting in late summer and fall, and then these long stretches where there's just not much field work. The actual crops just grow. You plant barley, wheat, oats, rye, and then you wait. You weed occasionally, sure, but it's not like you're out there supervising them 10 hours a day.
Huh. So what did they do during the downtime?
Here's a surprising fact. They threw rocks at roosters.
I'm sorry, what?
Shrovetide, which is basically medieval Mardi Gras, the day before Lent starts, one of the traditional games was tying a rooster to a post and throwing sticks at it. Also football. And I mean, like, violent mob football where entire villages would compete to get a ball from one end of town to the other. People died playing medieval football.
That's insane.
It was CHAOS. There's records from 14th century England of coroners' reports saying things like died while playing football, trampled by the crowd.
Okay, so their leisure time was more violent than I expected.
Not all of it. They also had legitimate festivals. Take the Feast of Fools celebrated around January 1st, where basically the social order got inverted for a day. Peasants would elect a boy bishop or a lord of misrule. There'd be mock religious services. People would wear their clothes inside out or dress up like animals.
Like medieval Burning Men.
Kind of. Historians debate how subversive it actually was. Some say it was a safety valve that let people blow off steam without actually challenging power. But yeah, it was sanctioned chaos.
And the church was cool with this?
Grudgingly, the church kept trying to suppress the more rowdy parts. In 1207, Pope Innocent III issued a decree condemning the Feast of Fools, but it kept happening anyway because people loved it.
So even medieval peasants ignored their boss when it came to taking breaks?
Essentially. Oh, and here's something buckwild that I only learned about last week.
Hit me.
There was this thing called charivari, basically ritual public shaming, but as entertainment. If someone in the village did something the community didn't like, married someone too old, remarried too quickly after their spouse died.
Wait, they had community standards?
Very strict ones. So the whole village would gather outside their house, bang pots and pans, blow horns, sometimes wear masks, and just make this horrific noise until the person came out and begged for forgiveness or paid a fine.
That's social media. That's literally Twitter.
Oh my God, you're right.
We didn't invent cancel culture. Medieval peasants were cancelling each other with pots and pans.
I mean, it was more organised than Twitter.
Was it because Twitter mobs also just show up and make noise until someone apologises?
This is a deeply unsettling comparison.
Everything about this episode is unsettling. We've just been discovering that every single thing we think is modern was actually invented by people who thought leeches cure disease.
To be fair, leeches are actually coming back in modern medicine.
Do not defend leeches right now, Mike.
I'm just saying. Anyway, the church mandated rest because they understood that people needed it. Every Sunday was a rest day. That's 52 days right there. Then you had the big ones. Christmas wasn't one day. It was the 12 days of Christmas, literally December 25 through January 6. Easter wasn't one day. It was Holy Week plus Easter Monday. Pentecost, Assumption of Mary, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, your local patron saint.
How local are we talking?
Like village specific. If you lived in a village dedicated to St. Wilfrid, that's a feast day. If you live near a shrine to St. Cuthbert, that's another one. There's a record from a 13th century English manor that lists 164 days that were either Sundays or feast days where no work was expected.
164 days.
And that's just one manor. Some regions had fewer, some had more. But the general vibe was lots of days off.
And what did they actually do on these days besides throw rocks at roosters and cancel each other?
Honestly, a lot of just hanging out. The feast day would usually involve going to church, that was mandatory, but then there'd be communal meals, often funded by the manor or a church guild, dancing, if the local priest wasn't too strict about it. Drinking, lots of drinking. Medieval Europeans drank way more than we do because water quality was terrible.
Wait, really?
Yeah, small beer, low alcohol content ale was safer than water in many places. So kids, adults, everyone was mildly buzzed a lot of the time.
So medieval peasants were day drinking more than Venice Beach on a Saturday?
Essentially. And actually, oh God, I just remembered something.
What?
There was this medieval medical theory that you could diagnose illness by tasting the patient's urine.
I'm sorry, what?
Uroscopy. Doctors would literally taste your pee to figure out what was wrong with you. Sweet urine, probably diabetes. Bitter, liver problems. It was a whole thing.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
I know, but you mentioned drinking and my brain just went, hey, remember the pee tasting? And now you have to suffer with me.
Did it work?
Surprisingly, sometimes. Like sweet urine IS, actually a diabetes symptom. They just didn't know why. They were accidentally correct through the worst possible method.
That's humanity in a nutshell. We discovered something true by doing something disgusting.
Medicine was wild back then. They also thought bloodletting cured everything.
Okay, we need to get back on track before you tell me about medieval surgery.
They did brain surgery with hand drills while the patient was awake.
Mike.
Right. Sorry. Feast days. We were talking about feast days and communal drinking, not medical horror shows.
Yes. Although that would make a great future episode.
Filed away for later. Okay, so...
Wait, one more question about the pee thing.
Oh, no.
Did they train for this? Like, was there pee tasting university?
I mean, medical schools taught it. So, technically, yes?
Imagine going into debt for a medical degree and your specialty is pee sommelier.
I'm detecting notes of kidney failure with a hint of UTI.
This urine pairs well with bloodletting.
Okay, we really need to get back.
You started this.
No, I have regrets. Feast days, communal rest. Oh, and here's something absolutely buckwild that I just remembered.
Is it pee related?
No. The phrase goodbye comes from God be with ye. It's Middle English.
Why are you telling me this?
Because we've been talking about medieval life for like 20 minutes and I just realised that every time we say goodbye, we're using a medieval blessing.
Okay, but that's actually kind of beautiful.
Right? Like they didn't have antibiotics or indoor plumbing, but they had this whole framework where even basic social interactions acknowledged the divine. Every farewell was a prayer.
Whereas now, we're like, bye, and immediately check our phones.
Exactly. Or worse, let's sync up later.
Let's circle back.
Reaching out.
Stop. I'm getting hives.
But the point is, and I'm going somewhere with this medieval, life was slower, more ritualized. Everything had meaning attached to it. You weren't just working, you were fulfilling God's plan. You weren't just resting, you were observing holy days.
Okay. But was that better, or was it just a different kind of control?
That's actually a really good question.
Thank you. I occasionally have thoughts.
Because on one hand, yes, they had more rest built into the system, but on the other hand, that rest was mandated by an institution that controlled every aspect of their lives. It's not like they could say, you know what, I don't believe in God anymore, I'm going to work on Christmas.
Whereas now we can say that, but we don't, because Target's open and someone has to work the register.
Oh my God.
What?
We traded the church for capitalism and somehow got a worse deal.
That's what I've been saying.
No, but like at least with the church, there was an ideological framework that said rest is holy. There was a reason for the days off. Now we just don't have them. There's no reason. We just decided humans don't need rest.
Or that we need profit more than we need rest.
Which is insane.
Which is insane. Oh my God, are we agreeing?
I think we're agreeing.
This is uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable.
Okay, so we've established that medieval peasants had 150 to 180 days off per year, that they spent it throwing rocks at roosters and cancelling each other with kitchen equipment, and that somehow they understood that humans need rest better than we do in 2025.
Correct.
So here's my question. How did we go from a system that, for all its flaws, for all its oppression, at least built in mandatory rest, to this? To hustle culture and rise and grind and working ourselves into early graves?
That is an excellent question.
And
we're going to answer it next week.
You're leaving me on a cliffhanger.
I'm leaving everyone on a cliffhanger. Because the story of how we lost the medieval vacation, how we went from 150 days off to 10 days PTO involves the Industrial Revolution, the Protestant work ethic, and some genuinely sinister choices made by people in power.
I want to know now.
Then you'll have to come back next week for part 2.
This is evil.
This is good podcasting.
I hate you.
You love me. Also, you ate all my Takis.
Fair. This is part 1 of our deep dive into medieval work-life balance. Next week in part 2, we're going to explain exactly how we got from 150 days off to checking email at midnight.
Spoiler, it involves capitalism, Protestantism, and a shocking statistic about executive compensation that's going to make you furious.
In the meantime, if you want to yell at us or share your own work horror stories, we're on Instagram and Twitter,
where I post pictures of my dog Ivan, who is more popular than my car.
As he should be. I'm Mark.
I'm Mike.
And history just got fun again.
See you next week for part 2.
Bring your own Takis.